This episode is brought to you by the Founders Club, the premier community for founders pursuing excellence in the mind, body, and of course, business. The club is home to over 750 founders who are actively building stronger companies and better lives together. Through curated masterminds, destination retreats, and private events, members gain access to world-class insights, connections, and experiences designed to help them perform at the highest level. So the average founder in the club is doing between $5 and $50 million a year in revenue. So if you're ready to surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs who push you to grow and excel in every area of life, visit foundersclubofficial.com and apply to become a member today. Wow, back-to-back special guests. We've got an OG 20. For those of you who don't even know what I mean, is when Founders Club first started, we would classify our first 20 members, and we made a specific group, like in our CRM, we're like, who's gonna be our first 20? And then we've had OG 50, we've had OG 100 on the pod, but we only had one so far, and it's sitting right in front of me from Vancouver, is it British Columbia? Did I screw it up? No?
Yes, come on, Fayetteville, Arkansas.
No.
Yes,
no, you're 100%.
No.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No.
No.
100%. You thought I was from Canada?
I thought you were Canadian.
That's hilarious. I kind of look like a Canadian. What? United States.
No.
100%.
So how do you know all the...
I just know a lot of Canadians because it's stinking Founders Club, bro.
This is going to be amazing.
This is going to be wild.
What? Arkansas?
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Well, let's
Northwest
how
Arkansas.
did you even find out about the club? First 20. Chris sent you a message.
Yeah, he did. I can't
for sure.
it.
LinkedIn?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I connected. Here's the deal. The backstory is I followed Chris
Arkansas.
in Arkansas. Far from Vancouver.
Let's go.
I've never been there. But so dude, I mean, I followed Chris just through following on LinkedIn, subscribe to his newsletter, and just I would occasionally just ping him for questions and like just getting some feedback. And I loved following what he did. He was always so gracious, like answering questions. But then at some point in 2023, he reached out. He said, "Hey, there's this new thing that Aaron and I are starting called the Founders Club. I think you should be a part of this." And I was like, dude, there's no way this small town boy from Arkansas has no business being in the Founders Club. Like, this is like so silly. And he was like, "Man, I think this could be good for you. One, like your business is a spot where it does make sense." And luckily I jumped in 2023.
From a small town of British Columbia.
Small town of British Columbia. I love it.
Wow. You know, it's very interesting because as people have been in the club for a really long time, we've gotten like I like to say like a front row seat to see things, you know, how they've developed for everybody. And so many people have experienced growth in their life and their business. But before we get into all that, before we get into the business, I saw you brought a gift. We'll open it. We'll do all that. Cool. I always am fascinated by how one becomes an entrepreneur and what creates that spark, that flame. Yeah. And, you know, for you, it didn't happen necessarily when you were like 14 years old in grade 8. Yeah. It happened a little bit later on. Yeah. So tell me about your origins as an entrepreneur. Yeah. Where did entrepreneurship start for you?
Man, I love that. It's such a good question. It's one that I feel like I stumbled into for sure. And so the quick backstory, and I was telling my son Garrison about this the last few days as we've been hanging out down here. Just the kind of the origin story of how we ended up here. Well, in Northwest Arkansas, before starting Duncan Stone, I worked in the supplier community in Northwest Arkansas. Walmart, Sam's Club's home office is there, big retail hub. Found myself working with different suppliers and things like that. Well, a couple things happened. One, I was around founders and brand owners that were very passionate about their products, about building something, and just founder energy is real. And I'm like, okay, wow, these guys are really passionate about what they do. I don't really feel that in my just day job, day to day. So there's something about that. But really the bigger thing, what happened to me is in 2015, over 10 years ago, I came home from work one day. I had a 4-year-old at home and I had a 1-year-old at home. Okay. 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the afternoon, whatever it was. Hang out with my son, my little one for a little bit, and Stephanie's like, we got to put him down for bed. It's whatever. You go to sleep early. I'm like, this really sucks. Like, I don't like this. Like, there was something that happened in me in 2015. This is years before we even considered starting a business. But the spark of like, I don't have like really control, freedom, like anything in my life. I had a fine job. Like it was okay. It was good. I loved the company I get to work for, great people, whatever. But I'm like, my vision for being a father, a husband, like a leader, I don't really have access to do those things in my current world. And so there was a big shift that happened back in 2015. Well, at that point, it was like my wife, Stephanie, and I were like, we got to figure out a way. We got to figure out a way out of the system. Like, what is it that we're going to do that like we can do something that like kind of springboards us out of that? And so we just started looking and researching, doing different stuff. But like there was that moment in 2015 was a big moment for us that like pushed us to think differently, think creative, think more like what could we invest in? What could we start? What could we do? And then ultimately we can get into the backstory of how we even started the business. But, you know, years later in 2019, 4 years after that moment is when we first started. And we dabbled with other different things, but like, to me, it was less about I'm going to go start this thing or do this or that. It was more like, how do I reverse engineer my life and build my life in a way that allows me to invest into my sons or invest into my community or whatever it is. Like,
to create the life that you want.
Yeah, create the life that I wanted. Wow. And I remember sitting down with a guy. We went to a real estate like conference, investment, some real estate investment thing, right?
There's always a conference in real estate.
Yeah, some real estate thing. And this guy, which was fascinating because we knew nothing about real estate at the time. And this guy said, like, tell me about your why. And it was during the season of me wrestling through that stuff. And so we got clarity around freedom, impact, like all these things that we wanted to have in our life. And he was like, okay, well, like, let's map that out. And there was a significant gap.
What was the biggest gap?
It was like, well, it was mainly like the resources, like, how are we going to live off of this? Like for us at the time, we had no sort of like savings. We had some savings, but it was like, we looked at what we had and it was like, oh, we have equity in our home. So in Northwest Arkansas where we live, it was.
See, that's very Canadian of you, by the way.
Is it?
Yes, that's what Canadians
maybe I'm part Canadian.
I don't even Most know. Canadians keep their net worth trapped in their home.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then we were like, okay, that's where we have our kind of our money. We sold our house. We moved to do like a little fixer upper. We bought a rental property. We started doing some of that to like, it was more leverage. It was like, how do we begin to build a life that allows us to do other things that we're not dependent on this 9-to-5 job?
Was your wife working as well?
She was not. Once we started having kids, she stayed at home. She's never had like a real job necessarily.
Was there a moment, you know, because as things start to fester, right? Entrepreneurship's interesting. It's like, it's very rare that you open a door one day and there's like a little hole that you didn't see and you fall into entrepreneurship. It sometimes feels that way, especially when we look backwards. But in the moment, there's typically a small little buildup of things, which is what you're describing, right? It's like realizing where I am, realizing what I want, trying to fill that gap between what I want and where I am. But there's typically a moment where you have to jump. You have to quit the job. And you have to go all in. And it's scary. And at that point, you have children, you have expenses. It's, you know, when you're 14, when you're a young entrepreneur, like I was, like, I always said, worst case, I'll just work at Walmart and move to my parents' basement, right? Like, what's the risk? But when you're a little bit more mature and you have a wife and you have kids and you have expenses, it's a different table stakes. Did you have that moment where you had to kind of take a breath and say, I'm going to do this right now? And what was that moment for you?
Yeah. So fast forward to 2019 and we tried other different things. And when the idea of starting a business with some of our best friends kind of came to be is 2019. And so Stephanie and I were constantly watching Shark Tank, constantly like researching different things. She's
That's
on
amazing.
Helium 10, just did finding on Amazon, like what could we create? You know,
Yeah,
she's like,
it's a great tool, by the way,
great tool.
people.
Helium 10 is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been huge for us. And so she's like, we had all these different product ideas. We can go do this and that, right? And we were always kind of passionate about that. So there was these things in us that clearly were there. Well, we were some of our best friends were Sarah and Garland Autry. They live in the same city as us, and some of our best friends. She was running this little side business on Etsy, selling different things, and super creative, like really like talented. But we were talking to her, and I'm like, we definitely have something here. Like there's clearly something that we could do with this. And so she's got this product vision. She's super talented. Stephanie and I clearly have the like at least the gumption to try stuff. So that's already been clearly there. So we're like, we got to do this. So 2019 is when we officially put the business together. Now, the challenge with that, a couple things happened. We formed this business. We're going to do an online business. We're going to be in e-commerce. We just had a clarity around that. We're going to sell keepsake journals. We had a path and a brand idea. Now I got some feedback and wisdom around the risk, are you going to really jump in full time on this? It was like, how are we going to actually do this thing? And so what we decided is it was a side hustle for really
both.
all of us. I'm going to do both. And I actually love that, especially because we had 3 boys. So I'm like, to your point, let's get something going and see if we can get this off of the ground. And then if it grows and if it becomes a thing that we need to jump in full time to, it's going to be clear that will happen, hopefully. And so we started the business in 2019 and did it for me, I had a full-time job at the time. And, we were just kind of working it out of our house. So like even that initial stage was like, that was a step. I mean, that was like a step in toward that direction of, yes, we had to invest into that. Yes, we worked hard. Like, dude, we didn't do anything those first few years. We're putting our kids down. We were working out our manufacturer overseas. We're grinding at night.
What did your typical day look like for you?
Oh my
when
gosh.
You're doing both?
Get home, hang out with my boys. At the time I had an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, and my youngest at the time was like, 2 or 3, little guy, and play with them. I'm like, time to get in bed, boys. It's get in bed. Mom and dad are grinding. And so what's funny is both Stephanie and I are like, work is energizing, work is fun. It's like, we're just kind of like wired that way, I suppose. And so, dude, we put them to bed and it's like, we're out on laptops, talking to our manufacturer, setting up our Shopify store, setting up our Amazon stuff. And dude, it was fun. Like it was exciting. And you know this well, but like those early days of building something, it was just like, this is amazing. We're doing it with our best friends. We're trying to figure out how to run a business. We had no idea. We had no idea what we were doing, but we were all like, this is exciting. Like we're actually like figuring stuff out, and it was tiny, it was small, but it was like still fun and exciting. And so we do that at nights and rinse and repeat the next day. And it was like, friends ask us, what are you watching? What are you doing? I'm like, dude, we don't have time for that. What are you talking about? Watching shows? Wow. That's insane.
Wow.
We don't have time to do that. We're like starting something, and so like those early days of just who knows where this is going to go. But we created a product that we made ourselves. And now we have this physical good that we're selling to customers. Like, what is this? Wow. This is crazy, Wow. But dude, it was fun.
And you're speaking with people overseas, and you're on the WeChats and the Skypes, and
trying to figure out.
They don't understand They don't understand you. Oh my gosh. And they sent you the wrong stuff, and it's cost you more than you thought, and they lied on the pricing, and the paper became more expensive. So, when did I'm very curious because again, for a lot of people listening, this is quite a common origin story, right? It's like, some people can go all in because they have less risks. If you have more risk, typically you'll manage something more stable, and then you'll work nights and evenings. And ultimately, if you're unable or just not willing to make the sacrifice, and hopefully it doesn't appear as a sacrifice, hopefully it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? You get to choose. Am I going to watch Netflix today, or am I going to go and build something with my wife? Right? Like with my partners, with my friends. Like this is something that people often overlook. Is like, in a way, this was filling your soul.
Yeah.
And a lot of people often forget that. They take entrepreneurship, they put this glove on, and they say, if you want to be successful, you must suffer and you must do things you don't want to do and cry and die and do all these things. And don't get me wrong, plenty of those moments, plenty of those moments, but it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It creates connection. It creates chemistry. I played sports for 20 years. People would be like, oh, you got to go to the gym and die. It's like some of the best players I know, they were in the gym more than anybody else, but they were not dying.
Yeah.
They were loving it.
Yep.
This is the best day, best time of their life is being in that gym. Sometimes they wouldn't leave. I'd be like, yo, go home. How long are you going to stretch for on the floor? Just go home. Like, I got nothing to do at home. I'd rather be here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like something really interesting, but there's still going to be a moment, which I'm really curious, like when it became really real. That's like, there's an inflection point where it's like, all right, I'm doing this thing, I'm building, I'm making a couple sales, like it's all fun and games. Then it's like, now I got customers and I got return, I got suppliers, I got inventory, and I got cash flow constraints, and I got advertising. Like, when did it become real for you?
2021, January of 2021 became real. And I'll describe the scenario for you. A quick story. So we started the business in 2019, launched in 2020. So actually today, February 26th,
no way,
was the first official sell of Duncan and Stone Journal on our website. Was this day in 2020? Yes. So amazing anniversary that I'm here with you today.
That's awesome.
So so we get everything set up. We launch in 2020. Spring of 2020, we launch our business. That spring of 2020, things are going chaos. Everybody's shutting down, whatever. Turns out it was good for us. Launching a business that sells baby keepsakes and journals and childhood books, all that stuff. And so it ended up being like a kind of like a runway for us of sorts in 2020. Now, fast forward to January of 2021. I have a full-time job still. We just celebrated our first holiday season, biggest time of year for us. We thought we were on top of the world. Sold a few journals. We're fired up.
Everyone's Q4 is
first Q4. We're like,
we're rich.
Dude, we are so rich.
Yeah.
We're the best.
Yeah.
So we celebrate. We're having fun. We're running the business at our house, dude. It's just a family, straight up 2 families running this business. I got my sons packing boxes and stuff. So we had a blast. Now I go back to work after the New Year's, back to the office. First day back. My boss is blowing me up about stuff at the office. I'm working from home still. Customers are reaching out. We have all this stuff happening for Duncan and Stone. Dude, I was stressed out of my mind. Both eyes twitching, Aaron. Like, I can't even freaking think straight right now.
Wow.
I'm like, just too much happening. Go out at some point during the day, lunchtime or whatever. Go into our kitchen. Stephanie's working on the business. She was, with me the whole time early on. I'm complaining to her. I'm like, this is the worst. I can't do this. Like, this is too much. Stressed out. She looks at me and she's like, you need to quit your job. I was like, what are you talking about? I just want to talk about this. Why are you jumping to this crazy decision? She's like, it's time. I'm like, okay, let's process through that. And and it was like, just the like timing of all this was wild, because we have this side hustle starting to go. The whole goal from back in 2015 was, hey, what if you can buy back your time? What if we can get you? What if this could be a reality? I'm like, is this it? Like, what is this? Is this the time has come? And mind you, we're not making any money on the business, Aaron. I mean, it's somewhat profitable, but we're investing in inventory. No one's making salaries. That was silly. And so I'm like, okay, babe, how are we going to do this? We don't make money on the business yet. She's like, if we keep growing the way we're looking like we're growing, we'll eventually make money. She's running the forecast. She's looking at the numbers. I'm like, sweet. Meet with our partners that night. talk to them about it. They're fired up because they're like, great, we have an employee. This is great for you, great for us. Let's do this. And so we decide that night, we're going to jump in. Garrett's going to go all in on this thing. Like, you're our first full-time employee. The next day, met with the boss that I had and the company I was working with at the time. I told him, hey man, I'm going all in on this business that we have. And it was like January of 2021. That was 5 years ago, whatever it was. It's like, haven't looked back since. So at that time, it was like, I knew that at the very least, like, I'm going to give this a year. Like, who knows? Like, if it doesn't end up panning out and we can't figure out how to grow this thing and I need to go work at a supplier in Northwest Arkansas, I can go back and do that, So it was a calculated risk. It was like, at the very least, like, I want to go for it and see if this could work. And so I went all in January 2021. Wow. So like just over like 5 years ago.
What's up, founder to founder fam? I just want to quickly pause here and thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this journey. Starting a podcast is no joke. And the fact that hundreds of you listen every single week means the world to us. We want to continue to bring better and different and unique conversations to you to give you the most amount of value. Our only ask is that if you enjoy the pod, to please just share it with a friend. And most importantly, leave a comment, DM us, give us any sort of feedback. This entire production is for you. So if we can make it just 1% better, we will. We love you all. All right, let's get back into the pod.
What happened once you went all in?
Chaos. Dude, I'll tell you what happened.
It always happens like that.
I'll tell you what happened. Fast. The next year, 1 year later, celebrate another Q4.
Yep.
I tell our team I'm no longer working on this business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what happened in 2021? It's the idea that, like, hey, you're gonna go run your own business and have full freedom and like flexibility. That there's so many great things about running a business. I'm ruined and probably will never be able to go back to corporate America.
Right.
But the challenges of what that actually looks like, I was unprepared for that. I was totally not prepared for that. Well, in the span of that year, I'm the CEO of Duncan Stone. I'm doing everything, bro. I'm doing fulfillment, customer service, managing I was doing so much and working with 2 stay-at-home moms who don't need a psychopath to like tell them what to do. Wow. I was just like, I became obsessed with like, Duncan Stone has to grow. And what transpired for me and probably for a lot of listeners that are in this world, it's like my identity, my like success, my life was this business. It was the success of Duncan Stone. Everyone knows now that I quit my job. It's like the world knows.
Oh yeah, I can't be a failure now.
I can't be a failure now. Like, we have to make this work. And so my obsession of like doing this and that and becoming like just this maniac was extremely unhealthy. It was just like I'd totally lost. Like, literally, Stephanie looked at me at some point this year and was like, hey, I thought the plan was for you to be able to do this full time and be a present dad and to be like a healthier person and to enjoy this. You're actually the opposite. The opposite is true now. And I was like, oh, dude, it was it was probably the most challenging year for me was that 2021 year because, and I'm barely scratching the surface for all the stuff, which you probably know really well. It's like, man, I just got lost in it that year. And so by the end of 2021, first of 2022, we're a year in, business is growing like crazy. Business is like, we tripled in 2021. I despised working on the business. It was the worst, dude. So this idea of like being an owner is amazing. Sounds phenomenal, but like I actually have to do all the work of like growing this thing, dude, I'm out on that. And so we had a real like legitimate conversation with our team. Like, dude, I can't do this anymore. And we, at that time in the life stage of our business, it was like, we didn't understand the value of outsourcing. We didn't understand the value of like, or how to scale what we had built. And so we just got a lot of coaching, got a lot of feedback around people. And this is the years that I was like following Chris and like watching CrossNet grow. And I go, dang, dude, that's amazing. Like, how do you do all this stuff? And so I'm just starting to ask so many questions and reach out to people. And then we start outsourcing stuff. We start taking things off of my plate. And it began to unravel like the chaos that I had built. Does that make sense? It's like this just, we had built this thing that was built on me and Sarah and Stephanie, and we're like just doing this thing. And it was like, okay, we need to release.
There's always an interesting point in businesses where the business kind of pushes you past your own breaking point. And people view the breaking point as how much they can handle. And sometimes that's the case. Sometimes people literally implode. But for the most part, it's a point outside of your alignment. And that's always something that people often overlook and underestimate. And what I mean by that is when you're in alignment with what you do every day, why you do it, and who you do it for, the energy is like a constant waterfall. Right? It's the Niagara Falls, right? Which both Canadians and Americans know. It's never ending. At least it seems that way, right? It never ends. Constant flow. When you're out of alignment, when you spend a lot of your time doing things you don't want to do, that don't fill you up, that are not supported by the reason why you started this in the first place, it starts to do the opposite. It starts to pour out of you. So you have nothing pouring into you and everything pouring out of you. And if you do that for enough time, you're empty. There's nothing left. And some very experienced founders can now get ahead of it. But everyone gets to some point, and sometimes, you know, like candidly for me, sometimes it happens within a month. It's just like, well, what just happened in like those last 2 weeks? It's like, how did I get back to that? What, you know, and you got to catch yourself. But for a lot of people, it takes decades. In your case, it sounded like it was just 1 year, which is very good. Talk to me about the business, because to build a sustainable business over such a short period of time is extremely difficult. And the scariest part is typically associated, in your case, to the products that we sell. And yesterday, we were very lucky. We had one of the executives from Spanx who started it with, was like OG with Sarah. And they built it from zero to I think $150 million. And he shared how adamant they were on just having that one product in the beginning. And they did, I think it was like $5 or $10 million. It was one product, and it was a footless pantyhose. And he's like, people, and it went just above the knee or just below the knee. And he's like, everyone wanted full leg and whatever. And he's like, no. And they're like, no, we're just going to do this. No matter what everyone said, they're just going to focus. And although people didn't like it, it helped them proceed and build their brand and do it in the right way. For you, was there a moment where the product that you were selling created a tremendous amount of doubt? And how did you go about finding, you know, your golden product and not saturating and essentially potentially destroying the brand with this idea of, I need more to make more?
That's such a good question. I feel like that the longer we've been around, the tighter and more focused we've had to get. You know, I think that's a word that focus, like all the best brands, I feel like do that, right? It's like just so, even that example with Spanx, it's like, I love that because it is such a challenge to me. I think that a few things come to mind. I mean, luckily we had a really clear plan around what we wanted the brand, where we wanted the brand to fit. And kudos to my partners. Listen, I'm not sitting here today at all without this team that we have, for sure. Like, Sarah and Stephanie and Garland, we have another partner, but he didn't really work on the business. But Sarah and Stephanie, he's just kind of back there. Who knows what Garland's doing?
Yeah.
So
He's
anyway,
happy he's a part of it.
he's just happy. He's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Sarah was she had an insane vision for the products. So in the keepsake journal space, she said, I want it to be a timeless, clean, elegant, like a childhood book that you are okay with leaving out on your table. So no cheesiness. It's super clean, very aesthetic. Like these are all things like for me, I'm not a creative. I'm in that regard. Like I don't design our products. And, but she said, hey, I know this. I'm the memory keeper for our family. Like a lot of these childhood books are cheesy. They're going to be dated in a couple years. And so we need to establish ourselves, Duncan and Stone, as the go-to giftable baby book. She said, for us, it was like, we wanted to be involved in baby showers, anniversary showers, all these things that people are doing this all the time. We also have a legacy journal for life story, like, family life story keepsakes and stuff. And so, man, just the focus that we had early on around, this is what we're going to be about. We're going to be in the prompted life story keepsake space. We're not going to do moleskin journals. Right. We're not going to do blank journals. There's too many things out there. We're going to be super focused on this space, which is hilarious because I'm like, I tell my friends like early on, I'm like, I sell baby journals. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, dude, I sell baby journals. I sell a lot of baby journals. Wow. And so we had to, that's funny. It's just so funny, man. Like, it's so silly how you end up in like how do we end up here? But we had to just stay so focused around that. And dude, the value of saying, you have to figure out what you're going to say yes to, you know? And so once we figured out this is our space, we just had to say no to so many other things. Now, back to the products, like when we figured out one of the items that I'll pull out in a little bit is our legacy journal, one of our hero SKUs, one a hero item.
That's what you brought today?
That's one
Let's do it. Let's bring it out. Let's do it.
I'll show you this.
Let's see it.
This is our legacy journal right here.
Ooh.
So this is how it's going to be received right here. Customer gets this. So this is a life story generational journal. This? Yeah, open
Let's go. The plastic. I gotta cut it. Where's mine?
So Sarah said, "Hey, we're gonna. What if we made a journal? This is coming from her. Her grandfather passed away before she really got before she was old enough to ask him a bunch of questions. So she said, I'm going to create a journal that somebody can give to their father, their grandmother, their grandfather, whoever, to capture their life story. This is in 2021 that we developed a legacy journal. And wow. Dude, it took off. So this is like all our stuff is cloth material, really high end, really clean looking,
level. Oh, like nice.
thick pages, great for journaling, like all the stuff. And so,
wow.
But once we figured out, like, oh man, this really resonates with people because for our customer, it's like when you do, especially for a guy like me, like, hey, I don't know what to get from my parents or grandparents. Like, I don't know what to get my uncle. Like, we're developing items and that are meaningful, giftable items that you can give to someone, and it shows, hey, I care for you. I want to hear your story. Like,
this is amazing.
I want to know more about you. Like, can you please fill this out?
Next level.
Yeah. So anyway, this is the type of stuff that we sell. So it's all prompted, it's guided, it's, go at your own pace sort of deal. We have baby memory books, we have childhood books. This is our legacy journal. That's a family keepsake journal.
And this crushes on Amazon?
Crushes on Amazon.
Why Amazon?
Yeah. Good question. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that like when we had our idea of starting this business, we made the decision early on to say, hey, we want to figure out the right way to get in front of customers, as many customers as we can. We just chose to start on Amazon. And so like that was a decision we made early on to say, we want to establish ourselves as a strong brand on that channel.
Wow.
And thankfully we were able to do that early on. Like we got a lot of guidance, a lot of help to set up the brand in a really meaningful way. And so when we launched on Amazon and our website too, but that was our key kind of channel.
When it comes to, this is just incredible quality.
Thanks, man.
I'm always so fascinated when we create in a space that's already existing. And what I mean by existing is like every person I know has thought about documenting their family's story.
Yeah.
We just don't really know how. So it's typically like a passing thought or photos maybe. And I'm sure, like, was there, when you did your Helium-10 research, when you did your research, like, were people searching for legacy journals already?
Not really.
Just
it's some of our items there
like
were.
Capture my family. Like, what's the keyword?
I mean,
right? I mean, now we know the keyword, but at the time,
that was some of the challenge early on, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That was the challenge early on because, and Sarah was really helpful in this. She's like, hey, we need. So a lot of the items we sell, people don't know they need these things. And so like we need to get in the mind of the customer and help guide them and get it in front of them, even though they don't know they need it. And so some of this stuff, like a legacy journal, some of that stuff didn't even exist back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, so people weren't going on Amazon to say, you know, keepsake for my dad's life story, you know, something like that.
So I'm trying
it was
say, like how
we just finagled ourselves in there. I don't know, man.
Wow.
I don't know. With some of the stuff we created kind of a category for some of it, but you know, for things like baby memory book, photo memory book, things like that, people are searching for some of that stuff. Anyway, we just jumped in there, man.
So I want to ask a personal question. You mentioned, you know, you were working a corporate job, which you're pretty happy with, nice people, wasn't fulfilling, expressed lack of fulfillment to your wife.
Yep.
Realizing that there was potentially more out there for yourself and for your family. Festered on it a little bit, took some time, manifested, which is now this incredible business. 2021, very difficult because you realize what most people, entrepreneurs realize. This is not what I thought it would be. On Instagram, it looks way more fun, okay? Yeah. But there's collateral damage. And what I mean by that is, you know, you mentioned your wife was a stay-at-home wife, right? Taking care of the family. You have 3 kids. Now she's playing a role in this business and things have changed. And it might not be what we agreed to. Was there a moment where it was actually weighing on potentially your relationship? Because a lot of people overlook, you know, what it means to build a business and how it takes up 99% of your thoughts. And you still got to be a father, and you still got to take care of yourself, and you still got to take care of your wife and your family and your bills and your expenses, and it's a lot.
Yep.
What changed in your relationship once you started this business?
God, it's such a good question, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real. That's real. I have a lot of thoughts about this. There's a lot of things that changed. I think a couple things. One, even before we went into business with some of our best friends, I spent probably many months talking to different mentors and leaders that I knew about this idea. I was a little less concerned about me and Stephanie. Actually, it was, although that was a challenge, we'll get to that, but like the challenge of our marriage relationship. It was more like, hey, these are some of our best friends that we do life with and go on vacations with. Do we really want to start a business together? Like, it sounds good on paper, like, right? But like,
we'll just
money,
the sunset
sell stuff. It's gonna be so great.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about getting the legal ramifications, all the stuff. Oh, we got to do a buy-sell agreement. Okay, what the heck is that? Okay, we got to go meet with lawyers now. This is getting real. There's money involved. It's all the stuff. Like, are we going to be able to, like, what if things go sideways? I'm just playing out these scenarios of like, what's going to happen. Because in my mind, I'm like, it's not worth it to me to like lose a friendship or for sure a marriage. Like I'm not going to lose my marriage over this business. Like it's not worth it to me. Like, I'm not going to do that business. Yeah. So I tell you, man, it was a lot of like wrestling that we had to do. And we processed through that with our partners and we all aligned like, hey, we're going to do this. And so a few things like what I experienced in 2021, once it was like a full-time gig for me, it was like the challenge of how to truly set boundaries, how to take care of yourself, all of these things that I didn't really understand the implications of all this. And we talk a lot about this at the Founders Club, which is a big blessing for my life was even jumping into the Founders Club. But the reality of your emotional health, your physical health, your like personal well-being, all of like this whole life kind of like thing. Yes, maybe you're a founder or run a business. Yeah, that is a part of your life, but that's not all of your life. And so I feel like that 2021 like was an exposing year for me because the reality of the impact it was making on my marriage and just Stephanie wasn't happy. We were fine. Right. Like we've had a really healthy marriage, thankfully, and she's amazing. But there was plenty of moments where she's like, this isn't fun being married to you. Like this isn't great. I had to figure out what it looks like to be a business leader and kind of be a business teammate and then shut that down. And then now I just need to be a dad. Now I just need to be a husband, not whatever. And so like navigating the different relationships, I think is really challenging. It's like, I don't know if there's a really at least for me, there wasn't like a simple formula for how to do it. It was just like beginning to know yourself more and know when to ask a question about the business and draw some healthy boundaries around when we talk about stuff and what that needs to look like. And we got better and better at it over time. We had to. Those early years, I feel like that, especially when we were with our partners, it was just so easy to talk about business stuff and what we need to do and what we were dreaming about and what all the like tactical things. But man, like I think that it depends. Like for me, I started a business with my wife and two of my best friends. And so it was unique because it was like, this is our whole life. And it's like intertwined. So maybe a little unique, but either way, I think the reality of knowing yourself, figuring out how to be a healthy person in whatever way that looks. Right. Like, dude, back in the day, I'm like, I didn't take care of myself. No one was coaching me about that. And kudos to Founders Club and so many great leaders that are part of the group. It's like, there's a care for your entire person.
Yeah. All buckets of life.
It's all buckets of life.
Yeah.
It's like, that was like a foreign thing to me until I got around people like you and others. It's like, oh, wow, there's so much more to this. And I need to figure out how to take care of myself. I need to prioritize those things. Back in 2021, 2022, that was not a reality.
Wow.
And so it was like, you're just running off of like, I'm not working out. I'm not decompressing. I'm not spending less time on my phone. I'm just going, you know? And it's like, this is not sustainable. This is not healthy.
Wow.
And so getting guidance, getting people to push on you, getting like stepping back. Hey, what's your goals? Like, what's your, like, let's do some more like processing and thinking and planning around that. And then building that out like accordingly versus just letting it happen, like just being accidental. And so like becoming more intentional with how your rhythms of life and your relationships and all that stuff. Does that help? Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah. Not only does it answer it, but I think it's also important because back to alignment, right? Founders who are aligned in what their end of the story needs to look like and what they want their day-to-day to look like will start to not only craft that reality but we'll start to attract that reality. You'll start to see it and be it and live it. And we get challenged from time to time. Things happen. Of course, things will happen. And, you know, I've had a front row seat into your business, and I've watched you build it. I've watched you build yourself. And I've also watched you do something very interesting, which is one of my questions that I really am curious about. I've seen you get your business to a certain point where you're happy. And a lot of entrepreneurs never really get to that point. It's never enough. It's never this. It's never that. And you've built a business that now supports your life, your lifestyle. Get to come to trips in Miami with your son, right? In the middle of the week. You know, I've never had a job, but I would assume that most jobs wouldn't allow you to do that, right? You get to do a podcast in the middle of the day. Like, this is entrepreneurship. Yes, there's the Bezos and the Musks and whatever, and there's amazing, but there's millions, hundreds of millions around the world, tens of millions in America that make millions of dollars a year, that put a healthy amount into their pocket that sustains their lifestyle and their life, and they're happy. And I've watched you go and build that. Was that something you've always wanted to build? Was that the intention, or did you just prioritize what was important to you and it happened naturally?
Yeah. Gosh, that's such a good question, man. I appreciate you saying that. I think that I've where I'm at today is like especially the last few years, I'm like, I really like this. Like, this is finally like really kind of fun and enjoyable. Or for a season there, it was a little touch and go. It was like, is this, you know?
Yeah, am I going to stick around?
Sure, I want to do this. Like, I don't know. This isn't really fun. Man, I think it's dude, it's such a good question. And I think it's a kind of multifaceted for me. You know, I think ultimately I've gone back to more and more like thinking about the end, keeping the end in mind. Like, how do I want my sons to remember me? How do I want my friends to remember me? Like, what do I want people to say about me? Like, when they're around me, you know, like these more like kind of almost hypothetical questions of sort. It's like, what do I trying to rebuild my life in that way? Well, the whole thing for me was the why for Duncan and Stone was never a size, like a number or whatever. It was like, well, if I can just, it takes care of my family and my lifestyle, and I enjoy it and I'm challenged by it, and I can invest and make an impact into my wife and my sons and my community, that's enough for me. The challenge and the tension that I felt over the years and continue to feel is like, when is enough enough? Like, what's the reason behind us growing at this amount? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, really asking the question internally.
Yeah,
a lot
why.
of us internally.
Like, what's the why?
Like, what's driving me? Do I want to be a $10 million business? Well, why? Do I want to be a $100 million business? Well, what's driving that? Everything comes at a cost.
Correct.
So I'm like, okay, well, it's like, what's in there? I'm super competitive. I know you're super competitive. And I'm like, dude, I want to win. Like, if I am like getting beat by a competitor, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, I tell my sons all the time, if you're going to play, you might as well win.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing? You know, like, let's win the game. But it's the older I've gotten, the more mature I think with maturity and like security, like there's developing security around who you are and like being okay with, yes, my business is this size. I'm okay with that. This is great. I'm grateful for that. Yes, I want to grow. Yes, those things, I want to get better, but not at the sake of my soul, not at the sake of like all these other areas of my life that I need to like, that I am care most about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, not going to do it. Not going to do it. So like, if our business doesn't grow, so what? I'm okay with that. I'm going to be upset about it probably, you know, but like, that's okay. I'm just going to release that, you know, not a big deal. So man, I think that for me, getting clear and what I would say to anybody has a founder or has a business idea, it's like getting clear on your why, getting clear around like, what is it that's going to satisfy you? Like, what is it that is like, you're going to be about? And then you just have to figure that out. And it's a journey. Like those things can change and that's okay. Like it's not a big deal, you know?
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. Like they can change, it can adjust, but like, it's really challenging, especially for like high capacity leaders, is to say like, you see somebody else doing something and you're like, oh man, I could be Spanx. Why aren't I doing this? I mean, it's like, no. That's not what we're going to be about. That's fine that they're doing that thing. And I see it all the time in the Founders Club. I'm especially like amazed at all these like people. I'm like, oh my gosh, who are these people? I'm so glad I got in early because I was like, I'm like, dude, these amazing brands and leaders. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But it's just, it doesn't produce in me. And I think this is where getting healthy as a person comes. It's like, it doesn't produce like jealousy or envy or like, oh man, I wish I had this thing. It's like, dude, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for where we're at. And yes, I want to get better. Yes, I want to grow. But
and it's like, you know, you're describing two really important things. Really important things. You're describing one is doing work on yourself as a person, because the world is constantly conspiring to mess with your head. It just is. Yeah. Nobody cares about you. The news is just there to keep you watching. Yeah. The algorithms on social media are there to keep you watching. Everyone has their own agenda. No one cares about whoever you are, doing whatever you're doing, living whatever your life. Yep. 99.9999% of the world, if something were to happen to you or someone in your life tomorrow, don't even care. Yep. So for all we know, there's people dying right now that have lives and businesses that we'll just never hear about or care about. And that's just the reality. Yep. And it's so important to, one, realize that, and then understand is that your world exists literally in your world, your own head. And to do the work on you improves the world for you. Yep. And that's really big. The next is to control your inputs. And what we see online on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, all these magazines that people just pay to be on, what we see is these highlight moments. Right? Like there's the funniest story on like the Forbes 30 under 30. It's like a certain percentage of them end up in jail for fraud, right? It's like, it's the funniest thing ever. Yeah, it's the funniest thing ever. Like every year it's like, oh, they're on Forbes, you know, fraud, liars, stole money from VCs, like whatever. So like, but you know, when I was growing up as a young entrepreneur, like that was a big list, you know? And so my point is, it's like to control you and to work on you is one thing. Then you need to control your inputs. And one thing that's interesting about the Founders Club, for example, is like, you know, you've been around long enough and you've been able to see firsthand, it's like there's this big, beautiful business, but they're dealing with the same things you're dealing with. And, or even worse, and oftentimes worse. And you said it like so beautifully. It's like, yeah, you know what? You can have whatever business you want. You can have a $1 million business, a $10, $100 million business, $1 billion business. You can go, I truly believe everyone can get what you want, but you have to understand that they all have different levels of opportunity costs. And there's no such thing as like, if you see someone that did something great, it's very rare. I mean, maybe now with AI, like, does someone flick a switch and make all this money? They have to just go through absolute hell. And you got to be willing to do that if you want to get there. And unfortunately, all we see is the glam on the internet. But fortunately, if you're in the right rooms, you see the reality and then you get to decide. You get to decide for yourself. That's the beauty, is you get to create your own world, which I've seen you create. And I want to make sure you get, like, I give you credit for that, because intentionally creating your world is creating your level of happiness. That's so and we've had now over 50 entrepreneurs come on this podcast, which is crazy. It's been about a year. I think like 46, or a majority of them are members within the club. And some of them, you know, we've had one just sold this business, I think for $2.5 billion, right?
Yeah.
And everyone who listened thought the conversation was going to be, what are you going to do with the money?
What are you doing now?
Yeah, S&P, really? All of it? Like, what is that? $250 million a year and grow, you know, and we're all doing the math, right? They're going to pay tax, get $140 million a year. Can you live on that? I can live on that. Yeah, but he's now got to live with that world now.
Yeah.
He's going to live with that world. And that world's not simple.
Yeah.
That world comes with a lot. You can move with security for a lot of places you're leaving now, right? And, you know, they're not married yet. And now, like, oh, it's easy to get married when you have a lot of, is it easy to get married when you got a lot of money? I don't know. There's challenges there. And there's health and this and surroundings and environment and your friends, are your friends your friends, and you question everything and you feel alone. And that's another reason why he's a member, right? But I get it. And most people just see $1 billion.
Yep.
I want it.
Yep.
And they don't want
all the
everything that comes with it.
Dude, you're so right. Two things. One, it's like something you've said before, you know, multiple times before is it's everyone is within the Founders Club. It's in community. Find your people.
Yeah. Find your people.
Find your people and bring not like you're not looking to get anything out of it. You're just bringing to add value. And so this concept, and it's more than a club. It's more than, it's just like, how do you live your life to bring and add value to somebody else? Think about the beauty of that. If we just all live that way, not to receive, but just to give. It's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I've experienced that in the Founders Club and friendships and all that stuff.
It's the meaning of life.
Oh my gosh, I want to be around these people because they truly care. It's not about anything else. It's like just adding value to them. But what the last thing you said is so true. The reality of doing hard things, most people don't want it. I'm convinced of that. I'm not sure I want it most of the time. I mean, legitimately, I'm like, do I really want to do that thing? That's going to be a lot of work. Am I going to work out every day to get to that spot? Dude, I don't know. And it's like the disconnect between what you want to do or this idea of what you want to do and the actual work it takes to get there.
Yes.
Because having a great marriage takes a lot of work. Being a great dad takes a lot of work. Being a great business owner takes a lot of work. Fill in the blank. It's like anything.
Yep.
And it's like embracing the reality of like, yeah, it's going to take work, but like, it's worth it though.
It's being happy with the results you get. And don't be unhappy with the results you did not get from the work you did not do.
Ooh, come on.
And
come on.
That's just the equation.
Yes.
It's like, I am happy with what I have. Great, check. I am unhappy about this. Why are you unhappy? Yeah. Well, because I didn't get the outcome. Well, did you do the work?
No.
No, you didn't. Then why are you unhappy of the outcome you didn't get from the work?
100%.
Like, I was not a very good student, but when I got like a C+ or a B-, I was ecstatic because I was like, how did I get that? I didn't do anything. You know, it's like, I was super happy. But the girl that would get an A and not an A+, she'd cry her eyes out. And I was like, why? It's because she worked like hard all day for that, or weeks, and she all night, she didn't sleep, and she didn't get what she expected. And I understood her. I was like, you know what? You did the work and you still came up short, but you should still be happy with an A. You should be happy with what you have.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
That is true.
It's that's balance right there. Dude. Otherwise, you'll never be happy.
Exactly.
Right? You did $1 million, not enough. You did $2 million, not enough. 10 million, not enough. 20 million, it's never enough. It's like at a certain point, both can be true. You can be content, but not complacent.
Yep. That's it.
And that's the magic sauce there. It's that balance is people are like, oh, I'll never be like content. It's like, well, then you'll never be happy.
Yeah.
Well, then if it's content, then I stop working. It's like, no, then you're complacent. And I love complacent people. We eat them for breakfast, right? Like, I love that. For me, I love a complacent paddle player. Some guy who's really good, but he like doesn't train anymore because he thinks he's too good. In my head, I'm like, just a matter of time, right? Like it's just time is undefeated. I will get there. But for me, if someone's a little bit better than me, but they train just as much as me, or they do more than me, it's like, damn, I know I'll never catch them, right? So it's like the most vicious person is someone that'll never give up, right? So a question we always ask towards the end of the podcast is my favorite question personally. And it's funny because we have your son here, which is awesome. And I want to give you the opportunity to bring a younger version of yourself. You get to choose the age. Okay. So from maybe this version is from British Columbia, and we bring a younger version of yourself sitting right here at the edge of the table, So you get to choose the age. Let us know what age is sitting here with us. And you're able to share one message with your younger self. Maybe a message that you wish someone told you at that age. How old is the Garrett sitting here, and what's the message?
Yeah. That's a deep question right there, by the way.
That's why we do it at the end.
That's why we do it at the
end. So we extend the watch time. We get people to listen all the way to the end.
Like, what is he going to say? Man, I would say if I would put a 22-year-old Garrett in this. I'm currently 40, Aaron, a little older than you. Turned 40 last year. Which is awesome.
Young.
Which is awesome.
Good for you.
I know, man. I feel young.
I love that.
Biological age is much lower than that, thankfully.
Good.
So that's good. But I would say 22 because post-college, I got married at 22 and fairly young. And what I would tell my younger self at 22 is you need to take care of what is in your control and what you have control over, which is actually very little, most likely. It's not as much as you think. And you need to release the outcomes of everything else. And I have seen the reality of carrying anxiety, stress, outcomes for me. And I spent years, whether that was with family members, whether that was with my marriage, whether that was with friends, for sure business, at some point, the added pressure and stress of like trying to do things that were outside of your control, exhausting, just absolutely exhausting. I wish that I would have got that message as a 22-year-old. Like, dude, I can take care of this, these things that I have on my plate, these things that I can control. I have to release everything else. And fast forward, my oldest son's here who's 14, so that was I was 26 whenever we had our first kiddo. And then you add the pressure and stress of taking on this new life of like, I have this son that now I'm entrusted with. Like, oh my gosh. That's a healthy thing, as a father, to feel like the weight of like, wow, this is so powerful. However, it is destructive when you let that overtake you, this thing of like, I have to do like, how am I going to protect him and keep him safe and do this and set his life up for success and whatever. Dude, don't worry about that. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just take it easy, buddy. Like, just relax. And I wish that I would have learned some of those things much earlier.
That's money.
That's money.
Wow. Wow. Holy smokes.
Oh, boy.
Garrett, this was phenomenal. Thank you for flying in.
Of course, man.
I know Miami's not the worst place to fly into.
Freaking amazing down
and it's that's why so many people love to fly in for the podcast, because it's like, any excuse, we'll go. Thank you for being just an incredible member and playing all out. I often point new members to you because it's an example of playing all out, and hearing more about your story shows like how you just you play that way in all your buckets. It's like so rare that someone has discipline and they're giving and they show up fully in one area of their life and none other. Yeah. It's just so rare. It's more likely that they show up the same way for everything. And you certainly do. So thanks, you for showing up fully, for bringing the fam here. I know this is fun. And for just being a beacon for what it means to be in community, in relationship with others. And you said it best, I think it was like 5 or 6 minutes ago, you said, whatever community you're in. And I tell people, I'm in many communities. I'm in my neighborhood community. I'm in, my faith. I'm with my community with my family. I have a community with founders. I have a paddle community. I have all these different, I have friends. We have so many communities, whether we count them or not. And to be someone in community, you must always give more than you take. Otherwise, the community runs dry.
That's it. That's
and
so
you
good.
do an amazing job at that, dude.
Well,
So
appreciate it,
thank
man.
you for showing up. This was amazing.
Thanks for having me, man.
Wait,
What a
before we
blessing.
leave,
What a blessing. What a blessing.
Tell people Amazon, Duncan Stone,
Amazon,
follow LinkedIn. Give us the whole spiel.
Here's a few more. These are just this is just
What's
come on.
this?
So this is we also sell blank journal.
Dude,
We have also we have anything
Dude,
for
the
your
quality.
life. Anything for your life. And this is the reason that we have sell so many different things is we're wanting this is a family recipe book. This is one of our newest items.
dude.
And I want you to take this it's for your mom.
That's what I'm saying. My mom's
your
gonna
mom would
cook-
love this.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
love this.
If anyone can understand what she writes.
She's gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, right?
Take that for your mom.
that's
These
awesome.
are gifts for you.
Oh, thank you, dude.
And for the team here. But yeah, so we have stuff for travelers, for readers, for childhood memory keeping, for family life stories, anything in that space. And the whole idea is capturing memories. So man, go check us out. Duncan and Stone,
This
Amazon,
is
whatever.
really good quality.
Thanks, man.
Like,
I appreciate
these.
that.
I'm a big, he knows, I'm a
It's
big
physical.
journal guy.
Dude,
I've got like this,
There's
like,
something about, dude, I mean, and it's more and more. It's like,
it's like a real book.
going away from all the digital stuff. That analog is so big.
Yeah,
it's-
analog
it's-
is back.
It's analog's back.
Analog is
Absolutely,
back.
man.
Dude, thank you so
go check
much.
us out.
Sick. Amazon or DuncanStone.com.
Either one. Either one.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Founder to Founder podcast. And I have one favor, just one favor to ask. It's the only favor I'll ever ask from you. And if you liked what you listened to please like, subscribe, and please just leave a comment. Let us know what you think, how we can make it better. We are all in on delivering value to you. And all we ask in return is that you hit that subscribe. It goes a long way for what we're trying to build here. And as always, we post an episode every single Wednesday. So stay tuned and thank you for tuning in.